Hello, guys. Once again, this is Kwesi from the African Sing. How are you doing? To my Canadian soccer fans, how are we feeling? I know yesterday wasn't the result we wanted, losing 1-0 to Panama, but what it has done, it has cleared up a bit of how the World Cup might look and some of the scenarios coming through. So if you're new to the channel, we primarily cover Canadian content as well as a little bit of African content. We can't be the Africans for no reason, as well as looking at European club football. So if you like this, give us a like, subscribe if you like the content, give us a comment, let me know what matchups you're looking for. So with the results that have come through yesterday, we have a little bit more of clarity as to what is happening and where teams will find themselves, especially when it comes to World Cup pots. So right now, Canada finds itself in pot 4. And I'll just go over all the pots and kind of give you a couple of scenarios, a couple of rules that come through. So in pot 1, we have the host, Qatar, Brazil, Belgium, France, Argentina, England, Spain, and Portugal. Top ranked teams. They're interesting. I know some people have been saying it's interesting that Portugal went from having to make the playoff to being in the top seed. Dems be the rules until they change them. Dems be the rules. Part 2, we have Mexico, the Netherlands, Denmark, Uruguay, Germany, Switzerland, the US, and Croatia. Part 3, Senegal, Iran, Japan, Morocco, Serbia, Poland, South Korea, and Tunisia. And in Part 4, we have 5 spots that are sewn up. We have Cameroon, Canada, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, and Ghana. And then the last 3 spots, we have the intercontinental playoffs, interconfederational playoffs. So Costa Rica will be playing New Zealand, and Peru will be playing the winner of Australia and United Arab Emirates. And then the last spot in England, the last spot in Europe is up for grabs with the playoff between the Wales, Scotland, and the Ukraine. So we have one spot. We know due to the circumstances, Russia was pulled out. So one team moved on, and now we're waiting for that result to go through. So just kind of review everything for everyone. One of the major reasons, and I'll kind of explain this here, one of the major reasons why you wanted, and I was hoping maybe Canada could find itself in the pot 3, was because the possibilities, and again, probability is very low for this, but looking at trying to get in a group with Qatar, that can still happen, but maybe doing it a little bit higher up in the group. So if you go into pot 3, for example, the spot Canada was looking for was Tunisia's spot. So if you put Canada in a Tunisia spot, the rules are, other than some European countries, you cannot have the same country in the same pool, in the same group. You can be in the same pot or pool, but you can't be in the same group, other than some European countries. So you may see 2 European countries because they have 13 spots. However, for example, Qatar and Iran can't be in the same group, nor can Canada and the US. So essentially, if Canada was able to get into pot 3, you had a probability chance of 1 in 5 of maybe drawing Qatar, as long as you didn't get Mexico or the US in. Again, the probability of that was high, but it was like, if you're telling me there's a chance, there's a chance. So that's what we were kind of rooting for, but it didn't go our way. But we're happy to be. I mean, we'll have another time. I'm going to record something on the podcast for my thoughts on the game yesterday, so definitely be looking out for that. But so with these groups, you can't have the same groups in the same groups in terms of the pots coming through. So Brazil won't have anyone from CONMEBOL in their group. So Brazil won't have Argentina or Ecuador in their group. They're going to try to mix it up. So you have a little spice, a little variety of the world, which means there's a lot of tasty possibilities. I know there is a simulator that some of us have been using, kind of looking at aspects as to where we could go. The draw for the World Cup is happening tomorrow. And so with that aspect, the simple question that we're all kind of looking to ask ourselves is, what is intriguing to you? For myself, I'm a little bit happy that Canada didn't get into pot 3. I didn't have to find myself in a situation where I have to root for Canada or Ghana because they're in the same group. So Canada and Ghana being the same group works out, but there's a lot of intriguing matchups going forward. You know, Canada, for example, will not be drawn against the US or Mexico, and they can't be drawn against Costa Rica if they win their interfederational playoff because they're in the same pot. So of the top groups, of the second pots, of the third pots, give me some of your best case and some of your worst case scenarios, right? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're feeling. What's your best case and worst case scenario in that sense? I think for me, the best case scenario is clearly drawing Qatar. I think Qatar is probably the team you want to draw in that sense because they are the most unproven. But if you had to pick another team, and this is more curious for me, I'd be curious to see how Canada would perform against maybe, and this may be crazy to say, but maybe a Portugal. I mean, Portugal have they weren't able to get through, but I mean, it's an interesting aspect. You have Ronaldo, you have Bruno Fernandes, you have all the names that are there, but you're wondering maybe could Canada's pace prove them a bit of a problem, or would they be more too technical from that aspect? England is always you always want that because of the Commonwealth. You're always rooting to kind of run it through there, but that'd be interesting. So a group, best case there, I'd say a Qatar. You go into a pot B, pot two, and someone said that, but I don't know if it's the necessarily the truth here. But Qatar, Denmark, and interestingly, just because the from a matchup standpoint, give me Poland. I know they have arguably one of the best strikers in the world, but give me that. Qatar, Denmark, Poland, and Canada as a group. Oh, I would eat that up. I think the matchups are interesting, right? You have elite players everywhere, but who's able to actually outcoach the other person? And this is going to see, post coach if Herman can act strategize well to go through. From a worst case scenario, I mean, I think putting Brazil the worst case scenario I think for Canada would be like a Brazil, Netherlands, Senegal, and Canada group. And we can even go with Germany. Germany, I don't know if they're going to always be consistent. They've had moments where they just haven't looked good. But I mean, that doesn't mean the standard for good for Germany is still leaps above what other nations may consider great on their best day. But yeah, a group with, say, Brazil, Germany, Senegal, because they're going to be attacking full out. A matchup with Senegal and Canada isn't the worst idea. I think maybe a better matchup for them, maybe in Iran, who are apt and fine to sit back, but will counter and send numbers within that aspect. So that's definitely something to look at. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think. What's a best case scenario for a group? What's your worst case scenario for your group? Let me know in the comments. And again, we continue to create some more content for the Canadian national team program. We have the victory tour that's continuing for Bev and her girls. Going that, we will be previewing that roster at some point, and we'll also be pointing to other people who'll be previewing as well. So, guys, if you have a minute, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know how you're feeling. What's your best case scenario for a squad? What's your worst case scenario for a squad? Let me know, guys. This has been a question from the African saying. Bye bye for now.